The CIA took decades to build a spy network deep inside China. Then, in the space of just 2 years, 20 of their informants disappeared. It was one of the worst intelligence failures in history, involving secret chat websites, a potential mole, and a whole lot of incompetence. And today, I'm going to show it all to you.
The Chinese government has systematically identified, captured, and killed up to 20 informants working for the CIA.
Our covert assets are the most precious asset any CIA officer has.
We had 20 U.S.-related spies and operatives in China that are no longer to be heard from. They're either dead or in prison. China took care of business.
It's 2006, 4 years before the China incident, and a private contractor named John Reedy is working deep inside one of the CIA's most secretive branches. Reedy is in charge of locating informants and setting up communications with them. His specialty is the Middle East, specifically Iran. But one day he notices something strange. I want you to take a look at this document that Reedy filed. Now, it's top secret, so a lot of this has been redacted, but there's enough in here for us to make sense of what he was trying to claim. As our efforts increased, we started to notice anomalies in our operations and conflicting intelligence reporting that indicated that several of our operations had been compromised. The indicators ranged from to sources abruptly and without reason ceasing all communications with us. Years before the China network collapsed, Reedy was seeing the exact same pattern. Informants abruptly ceasing communication with them, mysteriously disappearing. Their information tap was shutting off midstream. And now, I want to show you what went wrong. Look at this website. Whilst most of us can't understand what it says, it's in Persian, you would probably say from looking at it, it looks like an ordinary soccer fan website. It's not. This is the communication tool the CIA used to speak with informants in Iran. This website was hiding in plain sight on the internet for anyone to see. It's been shut down now, but I could still access it using the Wayback Machine. Now, if you look closely down here, there is a search bar. And this is where it gets interesting. If we reveal the source code on the website, which you can do with 2 clicks, the label on the search box is password. So now, through some deep investigation, we know that this search box is not really a search box, it's actually a password log. And if you enter the correct password, a second pop-up and second login is triggered. If you enter the right password there, a secret message box appears, where you, as an informant, can share your intel with the CIA and receive intel back. Believe it or not, this basic messaging website became incredibly popular within the CIA when John Reedy was working there. At first, it was only used for communicating with sources in hostile areas, like war zones, where it was too dangerous to meet in person. But as it was so convenient to use, it spread way further than that. Hundreds and hundreds of clones were produced and given to informants all around the world. Each site was built for a single person to limit the exposure if that informant was caught by an enemy government. Here's one designed as Johnny Carson fan website, a photography website, and one for video games. But sometime in 2009, Iran finds a website exactly like this one. Sources believe that a double agent led them there. And once they had access, they start to dig, using Google of all things. Iran notices that these websites have specific digital fingerprints. They're little bits of code that made them similar to each other. So they plugged these unique fingerprints into Google search using some advanced search queries, and boom, just like that, they find other versions of these websites. The exact same functionality, just a different bad design on top. Seriously, I know this was 2009, but the terrible web design on these sites is a crime in itself that someone should be punished for. Anyway, once Iran pieces together a catalog of these ugly websites, they watch them. They watch the traffic, they watch the IPs, the locations, to see who would show up. Those that did were caught red-handed working for the CIA. And that's how the spy network in Iran started to unravel, site by site, visit by visit. It's shocking how simple it all was. But John Reedy sees this vulnerability even before Iran does. And he sounds the alarm. I personally crafted several cables detailing the threat we discovered. I provided at least 25 recommendations that we had to impose immediately. But inside the agency, they didn't want to hear it. They did not want to admit the obvious because it was their funding, their platforms, their offices, and their unwillingness to change course that led to future compromises. In 2008, Reedy was notified by his government managers that they wanted to take on new responsibilities, requiring a change to his contract. He asked to be assigned to another account, but was denied. 3 months later, he's informed that he will not be renewing his contract. And when he's fired, there are still hundreds of these websites operating around the world. They're like little ticking time bombs waiting to explode and explode as you see things. 3 long years pass after Reedy was fired, and it's not until informants in China start disappearing one by one that he accepts it. The CIA is in chaos. The panic triggers the creation of a joint CIA-FBI task force, codenamed Operation. These guys have to find the leak. As Operation Honey Badger starts investigating the dodgy chat rooms at some of their buildings. Rather, another possible explanation appears. Someone who's been inside the CIA. And as the mole team starts to build profile, one name keeps coming. Jerry Chung Shin. On paper, Jerry Chung Shin Lee was born in Hong Kong, raised in Hong Kong, and he was an army veteran.